this interview.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. First of all, how are you?
Very good. Very good. I'm doing
good. I'm doing good. Surprisingly, I drank too much last night. Had a little bit of a rough morning answering questions like, whew. But doing great now. So thank you for asking.
How would you introduce the band to someone who doesn't know you, and how would you convince him or her to listen to your songs?
Hi, I'm Joe. We're in a band called Halestorm. And then I would tie him up and put headphones on him and force him to listen to it.
I mean, that's a good method. I mean,
they would listen then.
They would definitely listen.
If that was the goal.
They would make you would make them listen. To describe what we do is kind of is always a tough question. Truly, I think that we're a hard rock band, but even more so than that, we come from a position of power. So I'm kind of a guttural singer, but that's just scratching the surface to what I do, and we kind of pride ourselves on using rock and roll to promote positivity and self-empowerment and honestly just being unapologetically yourself.
You were really young when the band started. Did you think it would work so well for so long?
No, I didn't think it. I mean, I didn't think about that at all. Actually, all I wanted to do when I was 13 and first starting the band was figure out a way to do this every single day, and so it was always just whatever the next goal is. Like let's achieve that, and so it's been 20 years of doing that exact same thing, and we're still doing it. We're like, okay, what's next, and we figured it out. When I first met Joe, when I was 19, we decided to figure out how to never have a normal job ever again. And so we went all in and did like 4-hour acoustic shows during the week at anywhere they'd let us play. We literally played a funeral once for $50 a song.
2 songs.
It was only 2 songs,
Great.
but we got $100. It was great.
They cried.
They did. That was a weird gig.
It was the weirdest.
That was the weirdest. We didn't know the guy. We didn't know, it wasn't like a family member. It was the funeral home hired us, and everybody was.
Thank
bawling.
you very much. Let's give it up for Jim.
Yeah. Woo, you can't really. Let's hear it for Bob.
T-shirts are.
Anyway, so that's always been the goal, and we still doing it, still hustling.
One foot in front of the other.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I never even dreamed that we're gonna be here. We're in Paris. It's amazing.
Now let's talk a bit about your new album, Vicious, which will be released on July 27th.
Yes.
How does the songwriting process work in the band? Did it evolve since the first album?
Oh yeah.
Our songwriting process is complicated because
It's simple.
It is simple, but it's not always the same thing. So some songs are inspired by a riff, or then another song is inspired by a line, or something, or maybe it comes together instrumentally first, or it comes together lyrically first. But we do it in all sorts of ways.
It boils down to we chase what gets us excited. If there's a spark to an idea, like, oh man, there's something there in that initial thing that I know that we could turn it into something if we work it right and put enough time into it. And that's just what it is. It's that spark and then working it and create something out of that. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But it's easy. You
just do it.
Work.
Yeah.
And it's the hardest thing ever.
In the first song you released, which is Uncomfortable, you said it is to break every single preconceived notion people can have. Could you tell us a bit more about this song?
The song is literally about being unapologetic and being yourself, in spite of maybe people that don't understand you, and whether or not you're disappointing somebody, or whether or not you can't make everyone happy. So this song is kind of saying, I can't make everybody happy, so I'm not going to. I'm going to look out for myself, and with the preconceived notion, it's funny because when people people look at other people, you're automatically judging them by how they are, and so you're if you see somebody, you have a storyline in your head already, you know, and so it's kind of, that particular line is just about like debunking that and be like, oh, you thought I was this, oh, let me show you another thing, and that comes back to just, you know, being a girl in an all-guy band and usually the only girl in the bill, and nobody was, you know, I was perceived as, oh, she must be the girlfriend, or she must be the merch girl, or she must be the groupie, or whatever it is. And so I kind of used that as a weapon every night, as in like, okay, they're not expecting it. All right, let me go show you what I really am. So with that particular song, it's something we've always stood for, and be you. And just by being you, you're going to make a lot of people uncomfortable, and that's okay.
Yeah, if you can't make yourself happy, you're not going to make anyone else.
Because you're, yeah.
You also released a video clip for this song, and I noticed that in a lot of your clips, you just show the band playing. There's not a story with other characters. Is it to allow people to focus more about the lyrics or the emotions?
For me, it was more about, we wanted to do a video that was simple and not put any ideas in anybody's head, because I feel like, especially with this song, and there's a lot of songs on the record like that, where everyone's going to take it in a different way, and I wanted to kind of allow our fans that were waiting for any new music to allow them to own it in their own way. So, you know, we tried to keep everything really simple and just kind of focus on the attitude and getting that visualized.
Okay. One of the songs I noticed also is Skulls, which may seem really different from the other songs, especially in the vocal part with a lot of rhythm. Do you have any comment to make on that?
Yeah, cool, huh? Skulls was a fun. that was a fun one to do. And actually, truthfully, that's how that kind of started. With, he had a riff and I had that kind of. I ended up writing that kind of bouncy vocal part to it, and it didn't start as a concept. It started as, oh, that sounds good. That sounds cool. That was fun to sing. That's fun to play. It had that something special, and then ended up writing a song literally about just, don't be a idiot. Don't be an empty skull. Don't be political. A dummy. It's not.
Don't be dumb.
But don't be a
lot of
stupid.
Right, doing dumb shit and saying dumb shit, and it's just like, shut up, you're being dumb. Just be a good human. It's easy.
Then there is also the song "Killing Ourselves to Live." It sounds really powerful most of the time, and then in the middle there is a sort of change in the melody with the sound of church bells in your voice.
Oh yeah.
Somehow you made me think of a gothic tale. I can't explain, but what would you?
That's awesome.
I like that.
That's really cool. With Killing Ourselves to Live, when did we start? We started that a while ago. We
were on vacation.
Yeah.
We finished a tour in Australia, and
we decided to stay.
Let's stay. We're going to the beach for a week, and it was, we didn't have instruments or anything, but turns out when we're like, all right, we're not working, we're doing nothing, and all we do is sit around and talk about music and write songs. So,
you can't turn it off.
It's what we like to do, and that was one of those. That and Buzz kind of came from sitting on the beach or at a bar.
Just like singing into our phones.
Yeah, and
it's like, so this is a guitar bar. He's like, meow, 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 you know.
So yeah, we like held on to it for 2 years. Just like, I don't know what to do. There's something there, It was like another one of those sparks, and there's something there. We could do something with it, and we always thought maybe it would be a ballad with that big major chorus. And I think it was that tour in October. Like, fuck that, let's make it a rock song, and we just kind of hashed it out in a demo and took it, that bridge went on a journey, and something we were trying to do is to have the songs take more journeys. But yeah, I like your gothic middle section. That's cool. Yeah, the song, it's funny because it became kind of a personal anthem for myself and the guys, because we've been together as a four-piece for over 15 years, and we've had tremendous ups and tremendous lows and everything in between, and have we know each other more than all of our families do, and so it's just kind of this whole, and it also it's just this journey that we've taken together, and it's still us against the world, and if this is our last trip and we go down, at least we go down together. It's the ups and downs. It's about making the journey. So yeah.
White Dress is also a striking song. It seems much more apocalyptic and punk, and there is almost some reference to Guano Apes and bands like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool.
It's funny that the Guano Apes comes out because I used to listen to them a lot when in the 90s when I was a kid, and we covered Open Your Eyes. We covered that back in the day, and so I'm sure this is what happens when I listen to music, and all of my influences, I never lose any of it. It just stays in there, and then occasionally it seeps out in the songs. So that's really cool. I like that.
And then there's some really strong songs, and there's always the idea of rebellion, of being different and being strong, and that's also the idea of the eponym track of the album, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Thematically, it is very much about overcoming obstacles and also rising above them, and how it's so much more than just being strong and tough enough to take it. It's you have to be fierce, you have to be vicious, and so and knowing that you're going to come out the on the other side swinging and not just get by, and same thing with the empowerment and having the guts to just be you and owning everything that makes you, whether that means sex, or if that means being in a rock band, or if that means hey, sometimes I'm a little bit more vulnerable, if that means love, whatever it means to you. But I think on this record we wanted to take the themes that we're passionate about, that we talk to fans about all the time, and then just kind of amplify them and up them on this record. Yeah, in the same way that musically, the heavy songs that we are known for are heavier, and the sexy songs are sexier, and and the more vulnerable songs are more personal. Yeah.
And so about this more vulnerable song, maybe just Calm One. I heard of Novocaine and The Silence. To me, an album without some songs just with acoustic guitar and voice is not an Halestorm album. So is it to make people focus more on the emotions, on the lyrics, or because you like that?
Yeah, and I think so. I think that the more acoustic or vocal driven songs are very much a part of who we are, and as much as we love albums that don't have any of that stuff on it, we're big fans of AC/DC, who never had a ballad once. Yeah. But that's not who we are. There are four corners of Halestorm, four pillars, or four sides of a pyramid, and without one of them, everything falls apart. So I think that it was important for us on this record to show all of those sides and make sure that you put all of that out there.
Lzzy, you said that this record was about overcoming inner demons. And so is it the reason why the idea of what doesn't kill me makes me vicious is so important? And is it a will to use music as something cathartic somehow?
Oh, absolutely. You absolutely hit the nail on the head with that. Been very smart and perceptive. Seriously. Now, because it's I struggle with things, and a lot of the things that I struggle with and that I've struggled with my entire life are internal. They're either me judging myself, or me doubting myself, or me trying to fix everything and make everybody else happy and forgetting about myself, So I went through a small period of time, and I always, I'm always going to go up and down with that. But I feel like I really needed to write this record that way, and we needed to make this record in order to kind of find ourselves again and find myself again. And so I thematically I feel like what doesn't kill me makes me vicious. It kind of defines me right now.
You also compared this album to a therapy, so would you like people to listen to it as a way to heal? Or?
I hope that people can listen to this record and take something away from it that they need at the time. We all do, but I talk to people all the time. It's one of the most fun parts about being a part of this generation that has internet and social media. I know there's a darkness to that as well, but I love having this community of people that we're all able to kind of help each other and lift each other up, and so yeah, I hope that all of those people can hear this record and hear themselves in it, and because I need music to help me through this life, and I know a lot of other people do too. So hopefully even that's a small part of it.
Yeah, so So in the end, the message behind this album is not just about being strong; it's also about how to become strong.
Yes.
Even if it takes time and so
And
on.
it's not it's never too dark. You know, it's never too. If anything, what I learned through this whole process of making this record is that it's just because something seems impossible doesn't mean that it actually is. You know, there's always a light and there's always something there that you can find to get yourself out of it. And you know, and I talk about this a lot too. You encourage people to find that, whatever that is that makes you you, that's something that you can do that nobody else can, or, you know, whether that be, you know, music or in the arts or even just, you know, riding a car, whatever it is that helps you through it, you have to find that, you know, because it's an amazing survival tool.
Which song of this album is your favorite one and why?
Ooh. That's tough because it's so new. It's so new. You gotta wait till we like play it out a couple times.
You like the best?
Yes.
Well, that one's a little shit. So fuck that song. No.
What's your favorite song right now?
Now.
Or what you're most excited about?
Ooh, jeez. Let's go. I'm gonna go with "Killing Ourselves to Live" because I like the journey and the riffs, and I
The Gothic journey.
I like going into the Gothic cathedral and coming out into a guitar solo. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. That'll be fun to play live.
That will be fun. I think
I should probably start practicing that solo.
We probably should. You know, normally I would go with a rocker, but I think that I'm really proud that that The Silence is on there, because it's not only is it musically somewhere where we've kind of wanted to go. We've always wanted to have kind of this almost Zeppelin-y ballad situation. It's something that we listen to a lot and we've never really done musically. But lyrically, this is one of those songs where I'm kind of I'm happy to let some people into my personal life as well, and it's probably our first true love song, you know, and just the way that I view it, and it's also was written for a very special person in my life that I fell in love with a long time ago, and how I view how we are, and no matter what happens, whether this world goes away, whether it's the end of the world, whether somebody dies, whether you know, whether everything changes with technology and the world changes, that love still remains, you know. And I like the fact that it was a very genuine song that came out very quickly, and we almost didn't put it on the record. We were like, no, it's just like a B-side, no one's going to want to hear that. And then at the last minute we're like, I think we need it on the record.
Yeah,
so,
it's a good
so
record.
I'm glad we put it on. So it's one of my favorites.
What's your favorite song?
Yeah, what's yours? Do you know yet?
I would say all of them, but I really like White Dress and The Silence because I almost cried when I was
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad.
Cool.
That's good to hear. See,
Awesome.
we did right.
Yeah.
I'm glad we put it on the record. Thank you.
Halestorm is like a balance between two voices to me, your voice, Lzzy, and the guitar. So how do you find this balance between these two elements?
Mainly between the two of us, because we're in charge of the guitars and then the vocals. He and I have been best friends since we were 19, you know, so we have the same kind of gusto and passion for this, and so in that way I think we kind of equally want to get both of our ideas in, you know.
It's
and
about the song, you know,
it is
the
about the
moments and what matters there, and if it's time for like a guitar moment, that's cool, and a lot of times it's, you know, it's the story or the song or what's being said, and or the melodic moment, and if the melody's coming from a voice, that's cool. If it's a guitar, if it's time for a guitar, then cool.
We complement each other well, and like since the moment that we started playing together, there was never anybody that wanted to step on either like I never want to step on, you know, his role, you know, in the band, and he never oversteps on mine. So it's this mutual respect that we have, and I think we balance it out nice.
Yeah, we try to
Hopefully.
anyway.
Yeah, let's talk a bit about your tour with In This Moment, New Year's Day, and Stage at Heart. Where did this idea of a tour with bands only with female singers come from, and how was it?
I think it's something that we wanted to do for a long time. And Maria and I and Ash Costello and I and Mixie and I have all been really good friends like over the years, but we never see each other because we're all touring all the time. So I think we put, months and months and months and months ago, we put together this tour really just selfishly because we really wanted to hang out, and we never get to hang out with girls. But what we didn't realize was after we started touring, we didn't realize how important it was for us to be on tour together, not just for ourselves as friends, but with the state of the world right now and women kind of finding their power. Again, it's been so wonderful and beautiful to watch, not just us, but like these women in the audience really owning themselves and owning this genre that we all love. These are girls just like us. And the amazing thing is that what we saw on this tour was usually it's like 60-40 male-female percentage in the audience. And on this tour, it flipped completely around. And there are so many girls just like, they're just like, they're my kind of
rock
women.
Girls, man.
Yeah.
They're showing up and
my
owning,
kind of chicks.
Rock moments and hard music, and it's cool. The girls are back.
The girls are back in town.
When you look back at all the weather that you hear, what would you say to the young Halestorm band in 2003-2004?
Oh, what did we say to ourselves?
I wouldn't change anything. So
yeah, I wouldn't change anything.
I don't know if I want to say anything because it would screw it all up.
I think for me, I would more or less kind of be encouraging in the same way that I am with a lot of young bands just starting out, as in, you're doing the right thing. This crazy idea you have isn't crazy, and you just have to keep doing it. You have to keep working and always keep your eyes forward and never let anybody tell you can't, And which we were both very lucky as kids to both have parents that supported us, but I know that's not the case in a lot of young bands and not getting a whole lot of support and following their dreams. So I think if I could go back, I would try to be that person to little Lzzy and little Joe and little RJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Z on every album, your voice is getting more and more impressive.
Oh, thank you.
What are your secrets?
I don't know. Mostly my secret spinach. Lots of spinach. I don't actually eat a whole lot of spinach.
No, you don't.
No, it's kind of weird.
So you get better.
I could get better if I only ate spinach. Don't take that advice. For me, every record I want to I'm always searching for a different gear or something new, to a way to kind of push myself, a little further. And with this record, we had an amazing producer, Nick Raskulinitz, who vocally, every time that I thought I was like, all right, yeah, that's like my limit. He's like, oh no, I've seen you live. I know you can get higher. I know you can get louder. I know you have this stuff going on. And then, in turn, like, oh no, like I know that you can get more vulnerable. I know that you can do this. So he really helped encourage me to stretch myself. But for me, it's like, it's just fun. I'm kind of a geek, with vocals, like ever since I started kind of taking lessons when I was 17, like just the science of it and making sure that, that you're protecting yourself and that you're warming up and then all of a sudden, like you learn how to create this like guttural thing without hurting yourself. And it's like, oh, that's awesome too. Let me use that somewhere. And so, I think it's important on every record for me to try to show all different sides of me vocally and but also make it a little bit more extreme each time. And yeah, man, this record was definitely extreme. I'm singing some notes I didn't think was possible for me, and so I credit that to our producer for encouraging me to do so.
I always remember that when I saw your show in Paris in 2016, you invited a fan on stage to sing with you. So is this relationship important to you with your fans?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Our relationship with our fans is very important.
So we can only do what we do because people support us.
Yeah.
We don't take it for granted at all.
No.
And 99% of the people are really fucking nice. And
really
cool.
awesome.
So it's kind of fun to say yo.
It's a great community, and they're a part of our family, and it's so much more than just they buy the ticket and they watch us play and everything, and there's this back and forth, and they inspire us just as much as they say that we inspire them. So it's a good thing.
So it's the anything to say to your French fans, for example?
To our French fans,
Yeah.
you're the absolute best. And I'm not just saying that because I'm sitting here in
You're
Paris.
One of the best rock and roll crowds in the world live here in France. And
Yeah, we've seen that over and over again.
The last time we played here is one of my top 1 or 2 favorite shows of all time. So looking forward to coming back in October and see if we can beat it.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.